Batman Arkham City is a weird game. The amount of glitches that you can do with relative ease is actually impressive. There's out of bounds glitches, animation glitches, physics glitches, and so much more. But one of my favorite glitches is one that allows you to free roam Arkham City as Bruce Wayne. Not only does this fundamentally change the way you play the game, it also changes how much of the game you're allowed to play. So today, I want to figure out how much of Batman Arkham City can you complete as Bruce Wayne. Some of you may have already watched this video, which is a speed run of completing as much as you can of the game as Bruce Wayne. While you could just watch that video to get the answer to this big question, I want to do something different here. You see, this speed run heavily relies on load warps. Seriously, half of this video is just loading screens, making it extremely boring to watch. And that's why today, I'll be going through all the things I was able to achieve in this speedrun, except this time, I won't be using any load warps. The start of the game remains mostly the same. Walk to line A, knock out these 4 thugs, break Penguin's hand, knock out these 5 thugs, start climbing, and talk to Alfred. This is where we implement the glitch commonly called Bruce Man. All along this building are invisible walls. If you get a bit of a running start and dive right into one of these invisible walls at this exact angle, the game pushes you upwards and forces you to stand on top of it. Doing anything other than rolling or attacking causes you to almost immediately fall off the wall. So in order to get closer to the desired ledge, you should do a few attacks. Immediately after your last attack, dive again, this time aiming for this ledge. Bruce hopefully will grab onto the ledge and pull himself up. From here, you can come to the fire escape and make your way down the building, giving you access to the entire exterior of Arkham City. But now that you're out in the city, let's talk a bit more about what you can actually do. Bruce has quite a few weird quirks that none of the other playable characters do. The 3 most surprising are things that you probably figured out on your way down to the streets. First, Bruce can't drop when hanging from a ledge. This makes sense, since the developers wouldn't want you dropping off of the Ace Chemicals building while hanging, so they just disabled the ability to drop from ledges altogether. The second is that Bruce can't jump while perched on a railing. This one is a lot more confusing, since there's never an opportunity for Bruce to get on a railing without using this glitch. The third is that Bruce actually takes fall damage. And just like how it's impossible to perch on a railing without using this glitch, it's also impossible to fall any height that would cause you to take fall damage without using this glitch. Invisible walls prevent you from jumping off most sides of this building, and even in the areas where there aren't invisible walls, there's a death barrier that kills you before you're even close to hitting the ground. As Bruce, you have no access to any of the menus aside from the pause menu. That means no map, no character bios, no Riddler tracker, and no upgrades. You can still level up, you just can't actually use those upgrade points. Bruce also cannot perform any takedowns, whether they be combat takedowns, silent takedowns, ground takedowns, or even any of his special combo moves. The last of Bruce's unique characteristics are fairly obvious, so I'll just quickly run through them. Bruce doesn't have access to a grapple gun, detective mode, gadgets, or the ability to glide. So, with all these restrictions, what can you do? Not much. Story progression is hardly possible and actually results in a soft lock. If you go to the courthouse, you can progress the story as normal for a bit. You can watch the cutscenes, knock out these thugs, and even get shot by Two-Face. But after taking down Two-Face, you're asked to scan the courthouse for the bullet fired by Joker. Bruce doesn't have access to detective mode, so you can't investigate the crime scene. And since you can't leave the courthouse before investigating the crime scene, this results in a soft lock. With story progression out of the question, it looks like side missions are the only thing left. The only problem with that is that many of the side missions require story progression to unlock. Here are all the side missions in the game. And now if we just eliminate the ones that can't be started without any story progression... Yup, only 3 side missions are even able to be started without taking down Two-Face. Oh, but wait, political prisoners don't start spawning until after you put on the bat suit. So really, there's only 2 side missions. Riddler trophies and phone calls it is. Now, it should be noted that this challenge can be attempted on one of 3 difficulties, those being easy, normal, and hard. I'm playing on easy, simply for the fact that it allows me to take less damage from mines and enemy attacks. Fall damage isn't affected by difficulty, so there's no advantage there. However, you won't be able to collect everything if you're playing on hard mode. There are a few spots that require you to damage boost through at least 2 mines, which isn't possible when on the hardest difficulty. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into the challenge. Before beginning the journey to hunt down Riddler trophies and answer phone calls, you should head down this street and pay this group of thugs a visit. Usually, you can only ever see these thugs while scaling Ace Chemicals. For that reason, it seems like Rocksteady didn't bother to make them actual thugs, since they have 0 reaction to you being here and also have no collision. Since you're already here, the trophy hunting may as well begin in the Bowery. Perhaps the easiest Riddler trophy in this entire challenge lies right here. Simply run along this route, making sure to avoid taking as much damage from the mines as possible. After running back here, you can find a Riddler trophy sitting just behind this pillar. 2 more Riddler trophies can be found just over here. One of them is fairly simple, since you just break this wall and collect it. But this other one's just a little bit trickier. To collect this Riddler trophy, you have to break this wooden wall and then climb up. Usually this is no problem, since you could just glide into the wall and land inside. But since Bruce doesn't have a cape, you're gonna have to get a bit more creative. If you head over to this bed frame, you can climb up and then climb again, this time onto this statue. You want to position yourself as far into this corner as you can without falling off. Now, if you dive off the statue with a very, very precise angle, you can land on the very edge of the floor underneath the wooden wall. If you immediately dive into the wall after landing on this floor, you'll break right through the wall, allowing you to collect the Riddler trophy. It may sound simple when I explain it, but this trick is far from easy. Positioning yourself on the statue without falling is beyond difficult, and even if you get that far, diving at the wall at the precise angle is also extremely hard. The amount of time I spent just throwing myself against a wall only to fall down and have to try all over again is insane. Even in the speedrun, I spent a decent amount of time just trying and failing this single trick. I would say that this Riddler trophy is by far the most difficult to collect. But, since it's possible, we can add it to the list. All the remaining Riddler trophies in the Bowery are above street level, so you'll have to head upwards to continue. Without load warping, the easiest way to get to the upper levels of the Bowery is to follow this route. If you head over to this area where the Titan container usually is, you can climb up this shelf and then leap over to this ledge. From here, you can maneuver onto the glass ceiling, which you then walk on all the way over to the front of the museum. Now you just walk along this bit of metal, climb over the railing, and just like that, you're on the upper levels. The next Riddler trophy is right in front of your current location. Along the west side of the museum is this little box. Simply hop over this fence and slide under here to collect it. For the next Riddler trophy, head over to the subway terminals on the east side of the museum. If you stand on this particular railing, you can climb onto the ceiling. Move forward just a bit and you'll get a prompt to climb on top of this pipe. Climb up and then walk along this pipe so you can hop over to this building. From here, all it takes is just a little bit of creative jumping to get to the tallest section of this building. Now just step on this pad, slide under the spikes, and collect the trophy. Next, you'll want to come over to this ledge. Get a running start so you can jump off the railing and onto this structure. Now, run down here and use this triangle piece to climb up onto the building. Make your way over to this bench and stand behind it. By holding forward, Bruce will automatically hop on top of this little post. Jumping off the post and towards the trophy will cause Bruce to climb up and perch on top of the trophy, adding another to the collection. And that's all the Riddler trophies in the Bowery, but there are still a few things here you can check out, so let's do that before leaving. Coming around to the back of the museum, you can still try to open this door. Doing so results in the same dialogue that usually occurs when you come here as Batman, so nothing really special. But before you can even try to open the door, you have to take down this group of thugs. And it's with this group of thugs that you can try out some pretty goofy stuff. One of the first things you'll probably notice is an indicator that tells you to perform a pounce attack. Pressing the button won't do anything, which makes me a bit confused as to why this is even an option. Another fun thing you can do with these thugs is use your drop attack. When prompted to do a drop attack, pressing the button actually works this time. However, Bruce doesn't have an animation for when he lands, so all the thugs just kind of end up falling to the ground while Bruce stands over them. The final interesting thing in the Bowery is one of the few save points throughout the map. If you go to the subway tunnel entrance and walk down the stairs, you'll see that the subways are blocked off by this gate. Now, if you press yourself all the way up against the gate, the game saves. Reloading places you right outside the gate, making this a safe place to save the game whenever you want. And that's all there is in the Bowery. Let's move on to Park Row. If you head over towards the Tiger Vault, you can see that things are a bit different from normal. Usually Jack Ryder is here being beaten by a group of random inmates. However, now Ryder and these inmates are nowhere to be seen. The street does still have something useful though. If you head down into this sewer grate, the game will automatically save as soon as you load in. This gives you yet another save point. Going down this street and further into Park Row, you can collect 2 more Riddler trophies, both of which are extremely easy. The first simply requires you to climb up onto this structure, and then dive into the wood. After that, you can climb inside and collect the trophy. The second is just a few feet away and is even simpler than the first. All you have to do is slide under this car to collect it. Make sure you don't reload the game with this trophy being your most recent save, or else it will spawn you back across from Ace Chemicals. This time, the invisible walls will be gone, meaning that you won't be able to get back to free roaming as Bruce. It's an instant run killer. Since you're already in the area, now seems like a good time to check out Crime Alley. Heading around back, there's a small chalk outline of Thomas and Martha Wayne's bodies. Lying around is an audio tape next to a bouquet of flowers and a rose. Normally, this tape can be picked up, causing Batman to kneel at the chalk outline while it plays. However, the tape can't be picked up as Bruce, meaning that's one less collectible. You can, however, go to the rose and pay your respects, which earns you the achievement, Pay Your Respects. I'd like to take a minute to touch on what was probably the biggest obstacle of this challenge, the traversal. Given Bruce's extreme traversal limitations, getting pretty much anywhere can prove to be a massive challenge. But by really taking advantage of the environment, a lot of these seemingly impossible obstacles become really fun and satisfying to conquer. And why am I bringing this up now? Because Park Row was an area that really began to test my skills. You see, a lot of the Riddler trophies in Park Row are on rooftops. That means that to get to these trophies, I would have to climb pretty high. I came up with a few different routes to get around, this being the first one. Now, this route is far from optimal. The starting point is very far from the destination, and the rooftops you have to cross have a lot of obstacles that can slow you down. But the fact that a route like this is even possible is amazing on its own. So, what is this other, more optimized route? Yeah, so I really overcomplicated things with my first route. But now that you're on top of the courthouse, there's a lot that can be done. If you go around to this side of the courthouse, you can leap off and just barely make it to this structure. From here, you can run across the beam to make your way over to this building, where you can get another Riddler trophy. Simply step on this button, and then run to collect the trophy before the timer runs out. From here, you can head down and run along this beam. You won't be able to climb up this wall if you run straight into it, so you'll have to angle yourself so that you jump off the beam and into the wall. This allows Bruce to grab the ledge and pull himself up. From here, just jump over here, get onto this block, and jump over to this ledge. Heading towards the perimeter wall, you can continue to scale the buildings, where you'll eventually come across this roof access. Just break open this wooden wall and collect the Riddler trophy behind it. After that, head farther back to this set of 5 buttons. The goal of this puzzle is to hit the final button when it lights up. So, just stand right by it and press it when it lights up. Easy as that. After this trophy, you need to make your way over to this rooftop. From here, you can head this way, eventually coming across a pressure plate. When you step on it, a hatch opens towards the bottom of the building. Normally, this Riddler trophy is collected by gliding off the button and dive bombing through the wood. However, it's a little more interesting as Bruce. First, step on the button to open the hatch. Next, you'll want to do a flip off the ledge and land on the wood. It won't break, but this puts you in a really good position to break it. Climb up onto this side and face the wood again. Now, if you roll at just the right spot, Bruce will roll off the ledge without doing a flip. This allows him to still be in his rolling animation by the time he hits the wood, which breaks it open. Now just collect the Riddler trophy and reload from last checkpoint to get out. Back at the political prisoner camp underneath the bridge, this wall can be broken to reveal a very easy Riddler trophy. And for the final Riddler trophy in Park Row, you'll need to head back here. Tucked in this alleyway is a small structure. Simply slide under this fence to grab the final Riddler trophy in Park Row. But this doesn't mean we're done here. There's still a few things to check out. Just on the other side of this building, you can try to enter Mad Hatter's hideout. Doing so only ends up showing you that the door is locked, confirming that this side mission is 100% impossible. Heading back to the courthouse, you can travel out back to find these 2 political prisoners. Speaking to them will result in a short conversation that surprisingly still makes sense when playing as Bruce.
You're the last person I expected to see in here. What did you do?
You don't want to know. Who are you?
Who was I, you mean? In here, you're nothing. Out there, I worked at the company handling security for this place.
Yeah, me too.
Don't tell me. You were sent here by Strange.
Yeah, that evil son of a bitch. What the hell did I do wrong?
You obviously know something you shouldn't. Try to figure out what that is and stay out of sight.
While you're back here, you may as well go ahead and try to open Hush's hideout. Doing so just results in the game telling you that this door is locked, verifying that this side mission is also not possible. If you head over to the political prisoner camp below the bridge, a few more conversations can be had. However, these don't make quite as much sense as the last one did.
Please, don't hurt me!
Why are you here?
Strange had me arrested. I don't know why. I've been here for weeks. I just want to go home.
I'll do my best to keep you safe. I suggest you stay here and keep out of sight.
On your way over to this camp, you may have noticed a group of inmates huddled around these phones. This is actually our first and last phone call of the challenge. If you take down these inmates and then walk up to the phone, you can answer the call and speak with Zaz. Now, I say this is the last phone call because for the entire duration of my testing, which lasted well over a dozen hours and spanned multiple playthroughs, this phone is the only one I was ever able to answer. This phone doesn't actually ring though, so it is perfectly possible that other phones throughout Arkham City are ringing and I just can't hear them. But at that point, finding them to begin with would take an extreme amount of luck. And if luck's the determining factor, I was never able to see it in the many other times I attempted to answer phones. So, this call with Zaz will be the only one that gets answered throughout the entire challenge. And that's everything you can do in Park Row. For now. We'll be coming back here later to clean out the courthouse, but that'll have to wait until after we're done with the last 2 districts. So let's get to the next district, Amusement Mile. Heading into Amusement Mile, the casino seems like the best place to start. After getting onto this bridge, hop onto this car and then over onto this building. From here, you can continue making your way over towards the casino by running along these rooftops. To get to the first Riddler trophy, stop here and position Bruce so that he's facing these vents. Now just run forward and jump off the ledge. Now just climb up a bit higher and slide under here with the correct timing to pick up the first Riddler trophy of Amusement Mile. Next, jump down to the frozen pool. Tucked away in this corner is a breakable wall with a Riddler trophy behind it. Now that all the Riddler trophies at the casino have been collected, it's time to head on over to the GCPD. Fighting the Penguin thugs outside the GCPD is optional, but could be a good way to get yourself some experience if you're low on health. Whether you choose to take them out or not, you can head right up to the second story and make your way over to this set of stairs. Tucked beneath them is another Riddler trophy. While you're already here, now might be a good time to go and visit Bane. The flare isn't lit yet, but that doesn't mean we can't at least try. I guess he's still mad about our little fight in Asylum.
Where's Quinn?
Gone.
We need to get you off.
I'm not loose. I can handle myself. I will bring you back, man. No, Bane. This time I break you.
Starting back from the GCPD, you can get onto this roof and then hop over to the roof of the Gotham City Olympus for our next few trophies. These next few maneuvers are a bit precise, so don't be discouraged if you don't get them first try. Hop onto this railing and walk right. You'll have to drop onto this fire escape. If you simply walk off this ledge at an angle while crouching, Bruce should have enough speed and a proper enough angle to land right onto it. Now just hop over to this building, wait for the pad to turn green, step on it, and collect a Riddler trophy. Swinging around to the front of Gotham City Olympus, you could pick up this trophy hidden behind this breakable wall. For the next few trophies, you'll need to make your way towards the Industrial District. Right as you cross over these beams and onto this section of the bridge, get a running start and leap over to this fire escape. Now just climb up onto the roof. Back towards the casino is this Riddler trophy, which can be obtained by simply running along these three pads. And now, for the final trophy in Amusement Mile, head over to the south side of this rooftop. On this lowered level is a configuration of fences and mines. Normally, you would use the mine disruptor to disable a few of these mines before making your way over to the trophy. However, Bruce does have enough health to simply walk straight through the explosions as if they're nothing, allowing you to get the Riddler trophy with ease. And with Amusement Mile finished, it's time to move on to the final area of the map, the Industrial District. Getting to the Industrial District isn't the most straightforward endeavor. This bridge prevents you from just walking in, since it's raised far above any distance Bruce would reasonably be able to climb. And with this bridge being the only thing connecting Amusement Mile to the Industrial District, that creates issues. So, how does one get to the Industrial District without a grapnel gun? By abusing the game's respawn mechanics. When Batman drops into water, the game will do one of two things. It will either have him immediately grapple out of the water, or it will have the screen fade to black and then cut to him climbing out onto a nearby ledge. Since Bruce doesn't have a grapnel gun, this second option will always occur. We can abuse this respawning to force Bruce to climb onto ledges that he ordinarily wouldn't be able to reach, thus allowing us to bypass the bridge entirely. First, you have to make your way over to the minefield maze. Get yourself as far from the bridge as possible, and then run straight off the southern edge of the building, trying to get as close to this other building as possible. After falling into the water, Bruce should climb up onto this other building. From here, you can drop down onto the boat. Now, if you just jump off and into the water, Bruce should climb up onto the other side of the bridge. And congratulations, you are now in the Industrial District. Now, I won't lie, the Industrial District is by far the most difficult area in this entire challenge, and I'm sure you'll quickly see why. That being said, it also has by far the greatest number of things to do. Scattered all around Arkham City are various breakable objects. There are tiger cameras, Joker teeth, penguins, and Joker balloons. But balloons are a bit different from the others. While the Joker teeth, penguin, and tiger cameras require the use of gadgets to be destroyed, balloons can be destroyed simply by walking into them. So this means that for the first time since answering Zaz's phone call, we have something to do other than collect Riddler trophies. There are Joker balloons that appear in Amusement Mile, but those aren't spawned in at this stage of the game, so they unfortunately are not destroyable. But not only are breakable objects here, there's actually an achievement that can be completed. If you get to this area while on hard difficulty, these two groups of thugs will be large enough to enable you to achieve a 50 times combo, thus getting you the achievement 50 times combo. I know these achievements are masterfully named. This one could be a bit controversial since it requires you to be on a different difficulty than other collectibles require you to be. If you attempt to fight these groups while on easy or normal, you simply won't be able to get a 50 times combo before knocking them all out. This means that technically you can't complete all of this on a single save file. However, it is still possible, so I'm counting it. After taking out these groups of thugs, each has a door that you can try to open. Taking out these thugs allows you to try to enter Zaz's hideout, which results in this. Taking out this other group allows you to try the door to the room that Nora's being kept in, which results in this. Now might be a good time to address something many of you may have been wondering about: Riddler's physical challenges. Physical challenges are, just as they sound, physical challenges that the Riddler has set for Batman. By completing whatever task these challenges ask you to, they check themselves off of a list and go towards your completion percentage for the Enigma Conundrum side mission. For the purposes of this challenge, I will not be counting these, and I'll explain why. During my testing, I discovered that if you complete a physical challenge as Bruce, and then put on the Batsuit, you can open the Riddler tracker and see that the physical challenges have not been marked off. This is different from picking up a Riddler trophy as Bruce, since if you do that and then put on the Batsuit, these are marked as completed. Since the game's own tracker counts me as having collected Riddler trophies, but not having completed physical challenges, I will not be counting them. But if you think they should count, then the ones that can be completed are: achieve a 20 times combo, use the slide to trip an enemy, 3 required, encounter an enemy projectile, 3 required. Heading back into this alley, you'll find this puzzle. Simply step on the right pressure pad and then the left one to light up all the buttons and collect this Riddler trophy. For the next trophy, you'll have to head back out onto this street. I will warn you now, do not, under any circumstances, enter the sewers while you're here. The game saves as soon as you land down there, meaning the load warp can't be used to spawn you back at street level. The only way out of here is using the grapnel gun, which you obviously can't do. There's also no reason to enter the sewers, since any collectibles down here require the use of gadgets. So just don't go in the sewers. It kills your run instantly. In this corner of the second street level are these parts for a broken down toy soldier. The goal is to get onto the roof of this building, which is going to take some precise platforming. First, stand on the chest of the toy soldier. Next, run straight into the leg, which should cause Bruce to climb up. Now, turn left and climb up this wall. Climb onto this metal bit and then position yourself as far away from the building as possible. This height is too great for Bruce to just climb straight up, so you'll have to implement the same jump to grab the higher ledge trick that we used earlier in Park Row. This is a much smaller runway than in Park Row, so it's a lot easier to mess up the trick. But once you get it, you're right where you need to be. Just head back to this wall and you'll see the Riddler trophy. In order to collect it, you need to hit each of the 5 pressure pads when they've turned green. The easiest way to do this is to position yourself here, wait for the closest one to turn green, and then run across all of them. Now just grab the Riddler trophy and jump back down to street level. Underneath this machine is a Riddler trophy, which can easily be grabbed by crouching or sliding. Over behind this brick wall is a Riddler trophy locked by 3 pressure pads. If you stand on the first pressure pad and then dive roll onto the other 2, you'll activate all 3 and unlock the trophy. Down the street, you can climb over this wall to see a Riddler trophy locked with 3 pressure pads nearby. This is the same puzzle as on the rooftop, so just wait for the first pressure pad to turn green and then run across all 3, unlocking the Riddler trophy and allowing you to collect it. Heading around to the back of the steel mill, there's some balloons that can be popped easily by getting onto this ice cream truck, positioning yourself just right so that you can climb onto the arm of the toy soldier, and then climbing up onto the head. While you're back here, you might as well check out one of the only accessible building interiors. The back door of the steel mill can be opened in an interesting way. There's nothing to do back here other than talk to this Harley head, but it might still be worth checking out just for the hell of it.
Listen, if anyone asks about Mr. J, tell him his name. No, don't tell him anything. Well, tell him that you're gonna hit him in the face, okay?
Back outside of the steel mill, there are multiple collectibles on the roof. meaning you'll need to make your way up there if you want to complete everything possible. Luckily, the route is fairly simple. Start by heading up these stairs until you're at the highest level. Now climb onto this ledge with a toy soldier sitting on top. From here, angle yourself at this part of the roof and jump over. Align yourself just right with this metal bit coming off of the next level of the roof, and you should be prompted to climb up. And there you go. You are now on the roof of the Scion Steel Mill. For the first Riddler trophy on the roof, just run straight ahead, passing over these rails and carts so that you can drop down to this level. Over here is a weak wooden wall which can be broken open to reveal a Riddler trophy. You'll have to head over to the main part of the steel mill to get the next few collectibles. There are armed thugs here, which you could take out if you like. I would advise not doing that, however, since the lack of any takedowns means that the only way you're knocking them out is by tanking through the bullets and hoping you can knock them all out before you die. The first thing over this way is some Joker balloons, which requires some very specific routing to get up to. Simply walk over to these crates, which are just below the pipe, climb onto them, and then climb up the pipe. Now angle yourself towards this ledge, jump over, and grab it. This jump is very inconsistent, so don't be discouraged if you miss it a couple thousand times. Just keep trying and eventually you'll get it. To be able to reach the balloons, run into this corner so that Bruce will climb up onto the slab of concrete. Now, position Bruce right around here and angle him right at the toy soldier's hat. Doing a flip from this position at this angle will land Bruce directly on the soldier's hat. Now just dive into the balloons. Run around the roof of the steel mill until you find this little structure on the east side of the roof. Climb up here, drop down a few layers, and then pick up the most well-hidden Riddler trophy of all time. For the final order of business at the steel mill, you'll need to make your way up on top of the main gate. From here, you can drop down and pop these balloons. Right by the steel mill's front gate is this brick wall, and on the other side is a maze of mines leading to a Riddler trophy. Taking this route allows you to avoid all the mines and make it to the Riddler trophy without taking any damage. The next set of balloons is tucked in an alleyway right behind this building, which is just north of the Ferris wheel. Hop this fence and then turn left, continuing down the alley. At the end are these two dumpsters, and behind them some balloons. Heading back to the fence you had to climb to enter the alleyway, just beside it are 3 weak wooden walls. Bust through each of them to reveal a Riddler trophy, which, sad as I am to say it, will be the final one collected for this entire challenge. For the next few collectibles, you'll have to make your way onto the rooftops of the industrial district. To do so, you're going to want to follow this route. Stay at this building, which, again, is just north of the Ferris wheel. You can climb onto this fence, which then allows you to climb up the side of the building. From here, continue making your way up until you're at this point. Run along this rooftop until you come to this wall. By positioning yourself right at the edge of this overhang, you can press the climb button to climb on top. Now just run straight at this wall and Bruce should climb up here too. It may look like you're here for this Riddler trophy, but that's not the case. You're actually here for this set of balloons, and how you get them is quite specific. First, climb onto this railing, and then onto this column. Now jump over to this platform. Stand right here on the ledge and face the wall towards the Ferris wheel. If you jump forward, Bruce should land directly on the wall. Now, slowly walk up the wall, stopping once you get to the highest point. Align yourself with the balloons, and do a flip off the ledge to jump and land directly on them. For the next set of balloons, you'll have to climb back onto the rooftops. But instead of going up this building, you'll want to head up a different way. Right across the street from that building is this one. So, to get on the rooftops from here, you just need to follow this simple route. Climb onto this fence and then walk onto this rooftop. Now face this overhang and use the same jump to reach a higher ledge trick as earlier. Next, turn right and climb up here. Use the angle jump trick again to get onto this sign, which you can then walk across to get over to this building. And now all you have to do is walk over to this chimney and climb on top to pop these balloons. And now, for the final collectible, you'll need to make your way back onto this rooftop. This time, instead of climbing up to this higher tier of the building, hop over to this adjacent building. Continue straight and climb up this ledge. If you continue going straight and perch yourself on this railing, you can look down and spot this set of balloons. Simply line yourself up and drop down. And with all that done, it is now time to face the final boss of this run, Two-Face. Taking down Two-Face is pretty much unchanged. Just enter the church, beat up all his guys, play hide and seek, and then you get directed to investigate the crime scene. But since you don't have access to detective mode, this is impossible, meaning that this is it. This is the end of the run. But before we move into the overall summary, I want to take a look at some of the things that I think definitely could be possible, but I was just unable to do. Starting out, we have this set of balloons, which is located right on top of this machine in the industrial district. It seems like just climbing onto the crane and walking up to them would work, but it stops you just a few feet before you're about to pop them. None of the buildings surrounding the crane are both high enough and close enough for you to jump off and land on them. The only way it might be possible would be to drop off of this railing, but that comes with its own set of problems. If you miss, chances are pretty high that you'd land in the sewers, which is an instant reset. But this doesn't even matter because from everything I've tried, there's just no way to get onto this railing. A second set of balloons that might be possible are right here. I mean, just look at them. It looks almost impossible that you're unable to pop these. I tried everything I could think of, but to no avail. Hanging off the ledge leaves them just barely out of reach. I tried walking off the building at the right spot so I could maybe pop them as Bruce dropped to his death, but that didn't work either. This Riddler trophy on top of the museum is just sitting here, waiting to be collected. I've tried every way I could ever imagine to make it onto the rooftop, but I was just never able to get high enough. I have found that the lion statue on the front of the museum can be climbed over, but this never helped me in any way. Both sides of the museum can be reached though. I just wasn't able to do anything after getting to either of these points. Another Riddler trophy at the museum is this one, which sits on the back of this horse. I tried climbing up onto the horse's back, but that didn't work. So then I tried dropping down, but I couldn't find any ledge that allowed me to drop right onto it. And that's all of the collectibles that I think might be doable. So, with all of that out of the way, how much of Batman Arkham City can you complete as Bruce Wayne? A whopping 0%. So it seems like the progress doesn't actually update while you're playing as Bruce, so we're just going to have to go through everything we completed on our own. In total, you are able to collect 30 Riddler trophies across all 4 districts, 6 in the Bowery, 8 in Park Row, 7 in Amusement Mile, and 9 in the Industrial District. 7 sets of Joker balloons are able to be popped, all of which are in the Industrial District. 1 Zaz phone call is able to be answered. You can unlock 12 entries of Batcomputer data, 23 character trophies, and 3 pieces of concept art. 2 achievements can be completed, those being Pay Your Respects and 50 times Combo. As for story progression, you're able to enter the courthouse, save Catwoman, and then softlock, which accounts for 2% of main story progress. And that's it. That's everything that Bruce Wayne can complete in Batman Arkham City. If you think I've missed anything or have any ideas on how to collect some of the close ones I mentioned, be sure to let me know in the comments. And since you made it this far, you might as well just go ahead and like, sub, and comment as well. I do have a few more things planned for Bruce in the Arkham series, so stay on the lookout for those videos sometime in the future. That's all for now. Thank you for watching.
Oh, you should have finished me, Batman. We'll get out of this, and we'll be back.
Do I look scared, Harvey?
You should. Fate is all that stands in our way. And if the coin says that your time is up, then you'll die.
I need to scan the crime scene for ballistic evidence. I can use it to show me where the bullet was fired from.
If we don't get you, Joker will.